Time-lapse photography is a great technique that lets you capture movements that would normally go unseen by the eye. It works by taking a series of shots at regular intervals over a period of minutes, hours or days. It's a great way of showing a flower bud opening, clouds racing across a landscape, or even a house being built. The stills on their own can be interesting, but by using software on your computer, you can run the pictures together to create a smooth animated sequence that literally speeds up time. The technique itself is very simple, especially with some Nikon DSLRs such as the D5100 and D7000 featuring a built-in intervalometer. This timer facility lets you set the camera to take the shots needed at set time intervals and capture up to 999 images. If your Nikon doesn't have an intervalometer, then a Harnell Giga T at around £50 is a good alternative and simply fits into your shutter release port on the side of the camera. In this project, we're going to take a look at how to set up your Nikon camera to shoot a time-lapse sequence of a lily flower opening. Find somewhere where you can leave the setup undisturbed for a good length of time, as it could be several days before the sequence is complete. To get started, tape a piece of coloured card to the wall and make sure you have a work surface to place your lights and vase safely. Place the vase, part filled with water, about a foot or so in front of the backdrop. Arrange the flowers with the unopened buds facing towards the camera, then push some paper towel into the top of the vase to stop the stalks from moving. This is important as the weight shift of the flower's opening will often result in sudden movement as the flower slips due to weight and gravity. The towel should just help to keep them in position. Now place a lamp behind the vase, directed up towards the backdrop. I'm using two graphite lamps, costing about £50 each from Colour Confidence, as they're easy to position and give a good daylight balanced light. But you could use a standard desktop lamp instead. Place the other light in front of the flowers, just off to one side of the lens. Flowers tend to move towards light, so this should help to stabilise the movement as the flowers open and create the foreground lighting needed to illuminate the subjects. I'm setting up my D7000 directly in front of the flowers and zooming in so that the flower fills the frame. Lighting can be an issue with time-lapse as the light changes during the day. The lamps do help, but daylight from the window means that colour temperature can be an issue, so for this project I'm going to use custom white balance. Set white balance to pre, then press WB again. With the lights on, take a picture of a white sheet of paper. Pre will then flash before being replaced by good, showing custom white balance has been set. Now set the mode dial to aperture priority and the aperture to f16. Click menu and select quality and JPEG fine, as we don't need large file sizes for this project. Autofocus on the foreground bud and take a shot. Review the image on the back and check that the histogram shows a good exposure. If everything looks fine, switch the lens's focus mode to manual to avoid any focus shift during the sequence. It's now time to set the intervalometer. Press menu button and then scroll down to the shooting menu. On the third screen, select interval timer shooting and click OK. Click right on the control dial and set the interval at 1 shot every 5 minutes. The display should read 050. Click right 3 times, set the number of shots to 999, click right again and select on. The intervalometer is now set, so once you click OK, the intervalometer will start taking shots. If you need to stop the sequence at any point, just hit menu button and OK and select off. Now it's a waiting game for the flowers to open, so just leave the setup to run and check back every few hours to see the progress. It's now time to review these on the computer and put the time-lapse sequence together in either View NX or QuickTime Pro. Okay, so I've downloaded all of the images that we've captured in our time-lapse sequence, and you can see all of those just here, if I just zoom in a little bit. And you can see right at the beginning, the lilies just partially opening, and if I scroll right down to the end, we have our lily fully open. And there's about 404 shots that I've taken during that time sequence. So to put those together, I'm going to use Apple's QuickTime Pro. If I just go straight up to File, down to Open Image Sequence. Then all I need to do is just select my Lily folder and select the first image within that sequence and click Open. Now I just want to change the frames per second to 24 frames per second, and that'll give us our smooth effect of motion. Click OK. Wait for a few moments for QuickTime just to compile those images into one. And here we have our picture. I'll just go View and make that fit to screen. Now if I click play, we'll see our time-lapse sequence of the lilies opening. Okay, I now want to save that out as a final movie. So if I go up to File and Export, just going to export that and call it Lily. Going to save its movie to MPEG 4. Video format H.264. Might as well make it high definition, so 1280 by 720. Frame rate, just take that back down to 24 frames per second. Click OK, hit save, and that'll now export that out as an MP4, which will play back on most computers. So that's the time-lapse sequence very quickly put together within QuickTime Pro.